when it comes time to go outside and start finding where you should be spending time on the social web, your first step really truly is to go out and find your best audience. Where are they already spending time? You're wasting your time if you're not hanging out in the same places that your target audience is hanging out. You need to go out and find where they are, type keywords that they would type into their own search engines, follow the links that you find, look for social destinations, and join the conversation. This is where you start building expectations for you and your brand before you even start trying to bring them back to your own content. You need to try to build your band of brand advocates across the web, and that doesn't necessarily happen on your own blog or on your own Twitter feed, at least not at first. You need to go out and find both your consumer audience and online influencers who will talk about your brand, who you can build relationships with, and will become loyal to you. A great example is the Roger Smith Hotel. This is a small boutique hotel in New York City. Now, how is this little hotel going to compete with the Marriott Marquis of the world? They didn't have the budget. They didn't have the money to spend on advertising. So instead, they turned to the social web, and they looked specifically at using Twitter and connecting with online influencers to help them build their brand and build word-of-mouth marketing about the Roger Smith Hotel. So they focused on social media online influencers, people in the social media world who have a lot of followers who listen to them. And they connected with these people and suggested that they stay at the Roger Smith Hotel next time they're in New York City, offered discounts or what have you, to try to get these people to stay at the Roger Smith Hotel. Well, some of them took the Roger Smith Hotel up on the offer, stayed at the hotel, really liked it, and went back and tweeted about it to their tens of thousands of followers, and word started spreading quickly. Next, the Roger Smith Hotel started using Twitter to offer special discounts. They created a special Twitter kiosk in the hotel. Customers or guests who make reservations and find the hotel through Twitter are given a special welcome when they get to the hotel to check in. So here's this little hotel in an extremely competitive market that was able to carve out its niche thanks to Twitter and thanks to finding the right audience and connecting with them. Now, your second step is your content. Of course, we all hear this all the time. You have to have amazing content. But you have to remember that content has to be useful and meaningful to the target audience. If it's not, they're going to ignore it. It's just going to be clutter. You can't interrupt them. You have to enhance their online experience. And most importantly, you have to be accessible and acknowledge other people. It's not all about you. So the first step to publishing your content is developing what I call your core branded online destination. This is your central place on the social web where all of your business and brand social web activities will lead back to. So you start with that core branded online destination. I always recommend a blog because it's so search engine friendly. And then in time, particularly for small businesses that have to focus on one aspect of their social media marketing policy at a time, you start with this core branded online destination and then slowly branch out and diversify your online profile so that people can self-select how they want to interact with your brand across the social web. Not everybody likes to read blogs. Not everybody likes to watch videos on YouTube. So ultimately, you want to surround people with branded content. Now, back to the thought of using a blog as your your core branded online destination. The reason I recommend it is because of this search engine optimization potential. How do people find businesses today? They don't pick up the yellow pages. They go to Google. And social media marketing can create a huge benefit to your business in terms of driving search traffic, particularly from a blog. Imagine you have a website with 10 pages. That's 10 ways that Google can find you. Now imagine that you add a blog to that and publish one blog post every day for a year. Now you have 365 plus 10 ways for Google to find you. Now imagine that that content is amazing. It's what I call share-worthy content, content that people like, find meaningful, find useful, and want to share with their own audiences. Imagine that during the course of that year, you were spending time looking for your target audience online, connecting with them, building relationships with them, and you start sharing your amazing content with them, slowly bringing them back to your core branded online destination where you can further the relationship with them. Well, now some of these people are going to want to share your blog posts with their own followers. People might blog about your blog posts. The point is that content is going to slowly make its way across the social web, and you'll have all kinds of incoming links coming into your blog, all these different ways for people to find you. So you've gone from 10 entry points to potentially hundreds or thousands of entry points in 1 year. And that's the kind of search benefit that you really can't ignore. You'd be crazy not to do it. Now, Naked Pizza is a great example of a company that offers content in a manner that people like. Naked Pizza started out as a small pizza place in Louisiana, and they couldn't afford to spend money on Valpak advertising anymore, or advertising in newspapers and circulars. They just weren't getting the return that they needed. They were starting to get desperate. So they turned to Twitter, and they started to use Twitter and started to try to connect with people in their area to try to spread the word about Naked Pizza. They offered discounts. Today lead directly to sales. And they integrated Twitter into their point-of-sale system. Today they take orders via Twitter. They set up kiosks in their stores for Twitter. And all of their direct mail content that they used to send now is all sent through Twitter. So it didn't happen overnight, but in time, Naked Pizza grew. They have actually reported 68% of single-day sales have come directly from Twitter. And their business has grown. Now it's a franchise. And this is a company that at one point was desperate, and thanks to leveraging Twitter now is highly successful. Now, step 3, research. You definitely cannot operate in a silo when it comes to social media marketing. You need to know what your competitors are doing, but you also need to know what other companies are doing that are great, and see how you can apply similar tactics and strategies to your own business. There's no reason to reinvent the wheel. You always have to be listening. Listening is one of the most important things, so that you know, and watch your analytics, so that you know what kind of content your audience wants, and you can keep giving them more of it. I have another great small business example from my book, and this one is a small bakery in Boston. Now, a lot of people would probably think at first, how is a bakery, sort of like a pizza place, how is a bakery going to leverage social media marketing, a little local bakery, to build their business? Well, Cakes for Occasions did it in less than a year using Facebook. So Kelly Delaney, the owner of Cakes for Occasions, she decided she was going to spend some time focusing on Facebook. She spends 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes midday, and 10 minutes at the end of the day on Facebook and doing social media activities. That's it. And in the 1 year since she started focusing on Facebook, her business has grown 25%, and she saved $10,000 in marketing expenses. Now, what does she do on Facebook that makes such a difference? Well, she gets her customers involved. She publishes pictures of her cakes. She has what she has identified as a cake of the week, and she'll publish a picture of that. Her customers can also publish pictures of their own cakes, which gets them involved. They love seeing their cakes published. And this is one of those bakeries like you see on the Food Network. They make these amazing cakes, not the ones that most of us make through the Betty Crocker box mix we get at the store. These cakes are gorgeous. So people love seeing their cakes on the Facebook site. The local Boston media has picked up on some of their cakes of the week, and actually the bakery has gotten a lot of publicity in Boston media from it. They have a van that they take around their local area, and they'll put on Facebook, our van is at such and such a street. We're giving away free cookies. Stop by and get one. And so people will stop by and get them. They will put on Facebook that they're having, the next hour we're giving away free cupcakes at the store. Stop by. They use Facebook as a place for testimonials. This is a place where, let's say that you're having a wedding and you're trying to pick a place to make your cake. So you go to the Cakes for Occasions Facebook page and see person after person talking about how great the cakes were. You see all these pictures of the cakes, and it's just really positive reviews and feedback that drives business. And step 4, you need to give more than you receive. You can't just talk about yourself. You have to publish useful, meaningful, share-worthy content. You have to engage with people, ask questions, be real, interact. Again, you can't operate in a silo. And then next, you have to figure out what your customers want and deliver more of that information. No one cares about you. It's with all aspects of marketing and copywriting and marketing communications. It's not what's important to you. It's what's important to your customers. So leave corporate rhetoric at the door. Be accessible and be human, and show people that they mean something to you. Provide valuable content that they want. Think of it this way. If all you do on the social web is talk about yourself, no one's going to want to hang out with you. It's just like if you're at a party or a networking event, and you're stuck talking to someone who just keeps talking about themselves the whole time. You're going to want to leave this person and avoid them for the rest of the night. It's the same thing on the social web. If all you do is talk about yourself, no one's going to want to listen to you anymore. I always suggest using the 80-20 rule of marketing, but applying it to your social media participation, where however much time you spend on the social web, divide that up so 80% or more is not self-promotional, and 20% or less is self-promotional. That's a good balance, and your audience is unlikely to feel like you're just selling to them all the time if you stick to that balance. Now, another example is a dentist in New York City, Dr. Michael Finken, and he never sells. So he's a great example of a business that absolutely does not self-promote online. However, he has grown his business through Twitter, and again, without self-promoting. He has an office in Midtown Manhattan. Again, this is an area where it's incredibly competitive, and let's face it, if you've got a dentist, unless something terrible happens, it's unlikely you're going to switch. So it's hard for a lot of dentists to get new clients. So he started a blog, and he just puts interesting stories and information from his office in it. He commutes on the train every day into the city for work. He bought a laptop, and when he feels inspired, not every day, it's when he feels inspired, he will write a blog post. And they're fun. Some of them, he's got a banter from the chair, the series that he does. And it's just fun, interesting content. He linked his blog to Twitter and Facebook. Again, these are important things. You need to figure out things that you can automate. I offer tons and tons of tools and suggestions in my book, but you need to automate processes when you can to save you time. And he also uses tools like Monitor to find conversations related to dentistry happening in his local area on Twitter, and then he jumps into the conversation. He's told me some stories about people who tweeted, my tooth is killing me, my dentist can't see me until Monday, and it was a Friday afternoon, and I don't know what to do. So he jumps into the conversation and doesn't say, come and see me. Instead, he says, here's what you can do. This is what I think is wrong. Make sure you tell your dentist such and such. And within a couple of months of starting his Twitter activities, he had already gotten 4 new clients. And it's just from reaching out to people, not self-promoting, but just providing useful, trustworthy information. And then 5th, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Like we talked about before, you start with your core branded online destination, then spread the tentacles. Try to ultimately diversify your social media presence. But remember, quality always trumps quantity. And it's better to have 1,000 Twitter followers who are very interested in what you have to say, retweet your content, talk about you, and spread the word, than it is to have 10,000 followers who click the follow button and then you never hear from them again. Don't look at it as a popularity contest. Look at it as an effort to build quality relationships that can drive that